YouTube, what is going on? PPS back here. It is Past the Prop Wednesday edition. College basketball, NBA. I know we're throwing a new little wrinkle in there for college basketball on our Wednesday today, but huge slate across the board. Ton of NBA, ton of college basketball. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How we doing this morning or afternoon, whatever it is?
I'm doing great, man. Like you said, we've got a great slate of games. We have NFL to look forward to. It's just a great time to be betting on sports right now. So I couldn't be doing better, man. I've actually been coming off some good momentum recently, too. I know the beginning of NBA was a little rocky for us over here, but now we're finally starting to lock in a little bit. We've had some good shows back to back to back. So super excited to get into it. We have a great guest today, and I'm just pumped, man.
Yeah, leading us to our guest, Mike Randle from FTN. How are we doing today? How's the season been going? Just let us know how things been over there at FTN.
It's been great, man. FTN, we have so much content going on. Stu is killing it, still kills it for us this year. You two are amazing what you do. So to be on and join you guys is just a thrill. NBA, college hoops, man. I just got done with my college basketball betting show about a half hour ago. Now jumping on with you guys, refreshed, replenished, ready to go.
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, we got a lot of games. I looked at the NBA slate today. It's taken me like 3 scrolls down my mouse to get all the way to the bottom there. And always got to look forward to that late night hammer game. We got Sacramento almost getting to another 240 total there. So, we're going to be betting on that one. We got to find something to bet there. And let's take a look at our show from last time. We'll do a quick little recap here before we get into today's action. A ton of games. We got 3 bets from Mike and then 2 of them from myself and Stu here. So we'll do a quick mini recap here and roll. NBA or NFL, obviously we knew that Cowboys were going to blow them out by 20 or whatever it was. So CD doesn't get anything in the fourth outside of his little 20-yard touchdown. If only it was 5 yards more. I think he ended with 68. So that one ends up dropping. Stu crushes Kurt. What did he have? 40?
40. Yep. Hit a little ladder right there. Always good. Shaking off the rust. Hell yeah.
I ended up getting there with my boy Bam out of bio. That was scary, dude. First half, he had 4 rebounds, 4 points. And then just decided, hey, all these guys are smaller than me. Maybe I should go at the hoop and do something. So that was nice. We ended up catching that one. And this one I do not remember. Did Brunson get there or no?
He lost in overtime, unfortunately. The last minute of overtime. We lost the half unit one right there. But, yeah, no, he was at 24. He was at 23, and he had a free throw. And he was at 24, and he hit it in, the last minute of overtime, unfortunately. But, hey, if a play makes it that deep into overtime, you feel pretty good about it one way or another.
Yeah, how disgusting is it seeing him tonight with a 27.5 total for points on your Wizards, dude? On your Wizards, Stu. Oh, my God. If he gets 28, I'm going to die. I'm going to laugh so hard.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at some point. But, hey, Raptors are a lot different than the Wizards. Anyone that's watching this show, I talk about the Wizards way more than anyone wants to hear about. And, we're just not great on defense. So we'll see what happens there.
Awesome. Well, 10 of you guys in here already in the first couple minutes. We appreciate you. And we'll actually get it started right away, get you guys right into some plays here. I will kick it over to you, Mike. We'll start out with your play here. I love this. We were talking before the show. Mike is – I won't even say dumpster diving because these teams make you so much money. You can't even call it dumpster diving at this point. So I will drop this one out here for you, and I'll let you take it away.
Oh, I'm actually going the other way on this one, which is funny. We are going to take.
Oh, they're 2.5-point favorites.
Favorites, right? We are going to go against Wofford. I am not a Wofford guy. What I look for, guys, is I want teams that have an identity, and I've seen some teams that have struggled this year, and Wofford is one of those teams. So tonight they're playing Western Carolina. They're going on the road, and they're favored by 2.5 points, and I don't know why. Guys, Wofford is a team that years ago when they played under Mike Young, they ran great offense. Remember, they got the tournament. They played very well against Kentucky. They shot 3-pointers at a high rate, and they played solid defense. What's going on here is they're doing neither of those things this year. They are shooting under 30% from three-point range, and they are allowing opposing teams to shoot 56%, which is bottom 10 among over 360 college basketball teams inside the arc. Western Carolina now at home. They have played very well at home, Western Carolina, the Catamounts. They ended up beating Furman at home, scoring 79 points and winning by 13. They beat Mercer at home by almost 40, and they played a tough Chattanooga team on the road as well. I don't know why Wofford is favored here. I think it's the wrong team. I love it as a money line play. I love Western Carolina. I just think you have some teams like a Texas last night against Iowa State, and you have a situation with Wofford. They have no identity. Texas, of course, Chris Beard fired. They were defense. Then they end up giving up 113 points at home to Kansas State. They've almost tried to change themselves. I don't like that situation. Wofford not shooting well from beyond the arc. Wofford not guarding inside the arc. That's a bad mix for a conference game on the road where you're a favorite. We'll take Western Carolina plus 2.5.
Yeah, Wofford got in the spotlight, when they got to the tournament those couple times, obviously. So guys, I'm not going to say Stu doesn't watch Western Carolina, but I'm going to guess Stu doesn't watch Western Carolina. So you hear Wofford versus Western Carolina, you're like, oh, I know Wofford. I'll bet on them, right? So obviously they're the more well-known team of the two in the public eye there. So I definitely love fading that. I think that's a great spot. You're getting almost 3 points here, full possession. So I love it. And what we'll do is we'll stay in college basketball. So I'll go with my next one because I have probably one of my favorite plays on the slate over on FanDuel today. My boys, you talked about Chattanooga. They are tough, and they have – I love this spot. They're a 1-point shooting absolutely lights out. Last year I took so many unders on them because they would lock teams up and then just decide they're going to score 95 on me. So I still have a bad taste in my mouth there. So I'm just going to go with some points here. Like I said, 1-point favorite, but they're at home, and I think that's really, really important. They've hit this number in their last 4 home games, and I talked about it on my Play of the Day video probably every other week, talking about VMI last year. And I looked at their roster. They lost Kerfman. They lost Stevens. And you look right where they went to 2 teams that I now love a lot, Marshall and Chattanooga. So Chattanooga's obviously got probably one of my favorite bigs in the college basketball right now. Jake Stevens is a monster. And talking about the home road splits, let's take a look at Jake Stevens' home road splits. Right now at home, 25-12. At home this year, shooting over 50% from 3 in those games. This man's 7 foot, 275, stepping out, hitting 3-pointers. Also, we have a team over there in Furman that allows teams to shoot 37% from 3. And we have a team here in Chattanooga has 2 guys over 40% from 3 and 4 of their starters over 35% from 3. So I think we're just going to see a fast-paced game. Chattanooga getting a nice pace up here against Furman. They're not the slow team anymore. They're playing pretty fast, top 100 in KenPom tempo. So sign me up. I think Chattanooga goes crazy, but I also think Jake Stevens puts up one of those monster lines that he had, faced off against his old team, VMI, put up 37 on him and just absolutely nuked him. So love Chattanooga, love Jake Stevens. I think this one crushes him tonight.
And I'm sure Mike has something more productive to say about this, but you piqued my interest at 7 foot, 275 out there shooting threes. Why isn't this guy on? I need to be watching this, right? That sounds like good entertainment right now. So I've seen you bet on Chattanooga a lot. I don't know where Chattanooga is, to be completely honest with you, but they have made me some money in the past. So I look forward to tailing this one today.
Yeah, that's a great one. Folks, if you don't know Chattanooga, they are shooting 55% of their overall shots from beyond the arc. I mean, they just fire, and that plays exactly into what we have here with the total. I love this play, of course. I like Chattanooga, and I love this play. Great call.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's take a look at our chat before we get to Mike's second play, and that will be our final college basketball spot for today. We got Terrence in there. Welcome, first guy in the chat. We got Jay. Or Jack, now we have Jay switching it up a little bit on us. So we got Turbo in there. Welcome, guys. We appreciate you. And I'll kick it over to you again, Mike, for our last college basketball spot of the day here. Let me get that up for you.
Yeah, so there was a couple places that I was looking to go. And in this case, rivalry games, guys. Oklahoma, Porter Moser has done a fantastic job coaching this team. Oklahoma has been incredibly competitive this year in all of their games. I cashed them in a nice, comfortable win against Kansas recently where they were getting 10 points. They have played Texas at home. They lost by 1. They played Iowa State, who continues to be undervalued by the market. They lost by just 3 at home. Texas Tech away, they win. Kansas, 1 possession game with a minute left, lose by 4. And then West Virginia, a team that had to have it because they were 0-4 in Big 12. They beat them at home by 1. I am taking these points. Porter Moser's team here great shooting the three-pointer, 37%. Cambridge is lights out. The two Groves brothers inside remind me of Stevens a lot. Just going to get every single rebound, keep you one and done. Oklahoma State can struggle to score an offense. They're great on defense, but you have a team in Oklahoma that is allowing just opponents top 10, 28% from three-point range. I like this team. They're well coached. They don't turn the ball over. They have a late game shot maker. Oklahoma State struggles on offense. The big man Musa Cece inside, uncertain how he's going to do. He's been out for a while. Love this play tonight. Oklahoma +3. I expect it to go down as we get closer to tip. Wouldn't be surprised for a money line play. Porter Mosier's the real deal with a coach in a rivalry game. You're going to give me a full possession when I think they're the better all-around team and they have the best player on the floor. I will take it every time.
I love it. I love it. I always want to look at rivalry games here. Like, you always look at when I'm obviously a Badger guy. So whenever we play Illinois, I try to stay close on these numbers. If they're within a possession game, I always try to get the points on all of these games. So obviously love to back getting that extra 3 points there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we just saw this Kansas State last night, right? With the big upset in that rivalry game. I mean, anytime I can get points with two teams that very badly want to beat each other, I'll take that. I see Terrence in the chat is asking, how do you feel about Oklahoma money line? Do you have a strong take on that one?
Yeah, I like getting the points because you never know with these rivalry games, but I have no problem going with that here because the money line is going to be favorable. And Stu, you said it. There are very few teams that really are able to battle on the road and cover his favor. Kansas was one of them, and they still went down last night, had some foul trouble late. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a sprinkle on the money line either. I like Oklahoma to win this game out. They have shown me nothing, but they are competitive on the road, and it's one possession game. So in a coin flip situation that I think is going to be a one possession game, you want to go money line, that's fine.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys, taking a big left turn. We're heading over to NBA now, switching it up a little bit here. We got 4 total plays for you guys in this NBA slate. I guess we could start out with how we usually do with our we call them our plasma screen game. What is the game that's making it on your big screen that you're going to want to watch tonight? Stu, I'll kick it to you. Let's stay away from Washington here, huh? Let's stay away from them.
Yeah, this is so just a little peek behind the curtain. I was talking to PPS right behind the scenes. I'm like, what if we just do football on Wednesday instead? I was like, let's look at this slate first. Let's look at the slate and let's decide, right? We looked at the slate. We saw Hornets, Rockets, and we saw Thunder, Pacers, and we said, guys, this is perfect for us. This is, those two games, these are 4 of the worst teams. And Thunder are evolving a little bit. But when we just talk about this kind of low tier basketball, we're running and gunning, putting up points. Those 2 games, I'm so pumped. I know nobody's going to be watching the Rocket-Charlotte game, but come on. Sengun versus Plumlee in the paint. Jalen Green just shooting 30 times for no apparent reason. I'm so excited for those 2 games tonight. So I know it's not the prototypical, Lakers Kings answer, but I'm super excited to watch these guys roll around in the mud tonight.
Yeah, no, I looked at that slate. I'm like, we want what MAC football is to college football. That's what we want for NBA, right? No defense. Let's just go. Let's see some points and maybe throw a couple cool dunks in there and we'll be happy. So we're good on that. Mike, is there a game tonight that kind of piques your interest to watch tonight on this NBA slate? I think we got 10 or 11 games out there.
Yeah, I always like the situation where you have the underlying story. We have Trae Young, we have Doncic, of course, the trade back and forth. Doncic coming back off the injury here. And this is a Maverick team that has NBA championship dreams. They do. So those storylines always get me a little narrative based, but you have Young's going to want to show up, Doncic. Doncic has been so incredible all around here. So those little matchups there in the NBA, that's what makes the NBA great is those storylines. We like to have those little mano-a-mano battles, even though it's not publicized. I do like a situation like that because I think we get the best from both players.
Yeah, you stole mine on there, but hey, I still am going to roll with the late night hammer. We talk DFS a lot on here, and you can't not have a play in a game with a 245 total that finishes the night up. You don't want to see your ticker here go down all the way through when you're in the late games betting or on DFS. We want to be seeing our ticker go up and us winning some money. So I love having the late night hammer game be 2 teams that are just going to be running and gunning. I think 245 might be the highest total I've seen this year. Is that, I think on the show, Stu, is that the highest total we've seen?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think we've gotten over 241 before. I think it's the highest I remember.
Yeah, this is going to be wild. I would be surprised to see anybody playing any defense in here. We're going to have Sabonis facing off against Thomas Bryant. Are you serious? What are you asking for here? What are you asking for? This is bad. And I'm going to actually – sorry, Stu, I didn't mean to steal your thunder there. But I'm going to kick it over to you because I think I just did. I just looked over at your play.
Yeah, no, we're starting out with Sabonis over 28.5 points plus assist. I see Ethan was a little bit ahead of me in the chat right there saying Sabonis night, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, one of the first things, too, line value, right? Opened up the FTM prop shop. We saw a 2-point disparity between DraftKings and MGM versus FanDuel right now. Obviously, anyone that's been betting, especially the assist market, knows that those 2 points are absolutely huge for a guy like Sabonis, who's really doing a little bit of everything. We talk about upside in multiple different categories. Sabonis is a triple-double threat on any given night. And when we go over and we look at the splits tool over on FTN, right, we look at the advanced splits, right? Because one of my biggest pet peeves in general, and the reason I've been kind of pushing this tool a lot recently, is because a guy like Sabonis should never be in the same category as a guy like Jakob Poeltl, right? They're both centers, but that is really the only thing those two players have in common. So when you go on FTN, you look at the skilled centers. Who is the worst team in the league versus skilled centers? It is the Lakers. Do we want to know why? I think everyone that's watched the show already knows why. It's Thomas freaking Bryant. This guy cannot play defense to save his life. Everyone already knows this. That streak of 15 games where he started for the Wizards before the trade deadline, I bet against them every single first quarter last season, and it hit, I believe, 13 of 15 games. So Thomas Bryant cannot stick with him in the paint. He's a threat to get in foul trouble. He doesn't have the athleticism to move out to the perimeter and guard him. Sabonis has a great matchup. And what that means when a guy like Thomas Bryant will be struggling like that is they probably are going to force a decent amount of double teams. So I really do like the idea that sometimes he will power through. He'll get in the mid-range. He'll get to the free throw line, but he'll also have all those kickouts available because guess what? Right now, this Kings team is playing great basketball. All their shooters are on even Davion Mitchell, a guy who's only playing bench minutes right now, shooting over 40% over his last 10 games. Keegan Murray's knocking down threes. Harrison Barnes is knocking down threes. There's so much space on the outside that teams actually can't overcommit to defending the paint against them. And that's led to both Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox shooting over 70% in that little restricted area over the last 15 games. These guys are making shots on the outside, so that's our assist right there. And then Sabonis has a great matchup in the paint, so that's our points right there. Just such a good matchup. It's a high-paced game. There's going to be plenty of extra possessions generated, right? Neither of these two teams are defensive specialists whatsoever. And like you said, it's a great late-night hammer, great way to end the night. Watch a 140, 135 basketball game with Sabonis being a triple-double threat. So I absolutely love this matchup, and I think he has another good game against the Lakers.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, you don't have to sign me up on Sabonis. I'll bet Sabonis anytime I can. All these games, I love backing him. Have you been backing Sabonis at all, Mike, in any of these games on this Kings recent run?
Yeah, the recent run a little bit, but early in the year, he was cool earlier in the year. I was on him with playing with fantasy with DFS, and I was getting him early. And you got to stick to your cap. You got to stick to your beliefs because everything Stu said just paid off. I saw a preview this morning where Fox was on show showing what him and Sabonis do with that 2-man action on the right side of the floor. I mean, it's like pick your poison. If they're making shots from the outside, the Kings, this is the Kings, guys. We talk about the Kings. Everybody used to make them the butt of all jokes, but they're playing really well, and his versatility is tremendously hard to stop, especially if you're Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, you can't really go under screens either on those things. You got De'Aaron Fox shooting lights out. I mean, imagine if they still had Mr. Buddy Hield there too, right? But obviously he was in the trade with Sabonis. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Kings, and I love how they're like 90% of my late night hammer games, and all of their games are like 235 plus totals, which is just awesome for
Buddy Hield should have went to Chattanooga. He would have loved play. He would have loved to let him fly there.
Dude, I love betting Buddy Hield because literally I think like 80% of his shots are threes, and you're surprised when he dribbles the ball once. Mm-hmm. So I just love that because that's how I play basketball. I don't want to go down in the paint, right? Just give me the ball in the corner, let me shoot a three, and then we're good. I'll hustle back on D. That's good for me. All right, Mike, I'd love to see this play from you. I'll be talking about him as well here shortly, but I'll kick it over to you for your NBA spot tonight.
Yeah, I love Luka coming back off the ankle injury here. You look at his rebounding numbers, 10 rebounds per game in his last 10. When he's at home, 9.4. You're getting plus money on this. I was able to get plus money, and you're going against an Atlanta team that allows the 6th most rebounds to opposing point guards per game. I'm going with Luka. I think he plays well. And again, he's trying to get his teammates involved. I think Dorian Finney-Smith back tonight, hopefully get some shots. He can kick it out and really create. We see Luka early. Sometimes he puts the game on his shoulders, has a massive first quarter. In this spot, I think he wants to get his team ready. We're getting towards the later part of the year here, second half of the year, wants to try to build that. We know he can score. I don't think his first game back, he's looking to dominate, but I think he is involved. Atlanta can be a little sketchy with the shots. They give up rebounds to opposing point guards. Luka, triple-double. You want to go there. I'm going with the rebounds. I think he gets to 10 double digits, and I love the plus money here.
And I want to say one of the biggest things is minutes and effort, right? When you look at rebounds right here, and Luka's minutes are like on an insane level, especially with a guy like DFS and also Josh Green off the bench, both having that stretch where they were injured and now possibly returning, but likely being on a pretty limited basis. That just means Luka has even more kind of to do himself right there. And we know the Hawks are going to be chucking threes. We know this is team Trae Young. We got Griffin. We got Bogdanovich. This is a team all across. They're going to be spreading the floor and shooting those threes. That obviously generates more long rebounding opportunities for a guy like Luka. So I'm never going to tell you no to a Luka rebounds, assists kind of prop in a situation like this.
All right, I'm going to obviously talk about Luka here in a second with my play here. But my question is if Luka somehow finds his way to the Raptors, how many minutes do you think he plays a game?
He might just play them all. He might not.
Never come out.
Oh my God, that's the only reason. Like I'm looking at the DFS yesterday, and I'm looking at like Siakam, and I'm like, this dude's like obviously very, very good, but he's playing 42, 41 minutes. I'm like you can't even play him against like Randle. Randle's still playing a lot, but only like 38. Like Nick Nurse is on another planet. He's taking Tom Tibbs to the next level here. I love it. I love it for props. But yeah, I just had to get that question out because I thought about that today when I was looking at my Luka prop. I'm like, would he ever come off the court if he played for Nick Nurse? I don't even know if he would. Let's go. I'm going to Luka too. This is awesome that we're kind of on the same guy here. And obviously, you talked about the narrative. That's something you can obviously throw in there too. We look at his matchups head-to-head before with Trae Young. He's averaging 9.7 boards, 8.3 assists in 6 games in his career against him. He's actually hit this number in 4 straight. I absolutely love this spot. We look at Luka, number 2 in the NBA in drives per game. I love that. We're going to see a drive and kick option. You just talked about that being a spot where we got shooters now playing extremely well. You obviously have Christian Wood playing extremely well too. Tim Hardaway obviously been fantastic over this last month from beyond the arc. I think that we're going to see a lot of driving kicks there. Luka, 14.4 rebound chances per game. Love to see that. I think we're going to be on a ton of triple-double watch here the entire game. We look at the Hawks defensively. You talked about them against guards. Just overall, they're just terrible. They're a terrible rebounding team. They're bottom 5 in overall rebounds allowed, offensive rebounds allowed, and defensive rebounds allowed. Bottom 10 in assists allowed to point guards. I think this is going to be just Trae going crazy and Luka going crazy right after it. Luka's PRA tonight is 52.5, and I think that he actually will hit it. That's the crazy part. I don't think I've seen a 50-plus PRA in a while, but, man, I think Luka just goes crazy here. This is one of those big games that they're going to be talking smack the whole time. And no matter how slow Luka looks out on the court, man, he looks so slow, but finds a way, man. He just finds a way to get to open spots, gets his teammates open, and it's almost like infuriating to me as a fan. Like, how is this guy getting open all this time? Now, I look like I'm faster than I'm running down the court. It's unbelievable to me, but I think Luka absolutely crushes here against the Hawks and continues to dominate this matchup with Trae Young.
Yeah, no, I think this means we need to do a little triple-double sprinkle right here. I'm not sure what the odds on that are, but I like a little unofficial collab, when 2 different parties, right, that I respect a lot, both come to a similar conclusion together. That's always something that I like to see, and I completely agree, man. It's hard. In the NBA, if you know this, betting the NBA effort is a huge, huge thing in this sport, and sometimes guys don't put on their A performance, but we know there's this Luka Trae storyline. It's a thing. These are 2 of the youngest stars in the league, and I expect both of them to bring their A games. Kind of like in baseball when we see an ace versus an ace, right? I'd rather see Max Scherzer going up against, now Jacob deGrom than I would Brian Wilson. So I love this spot right here. I'm definitely going to be selling. I see Terrence 320 for the triple-double. That's honestly better than what I would have guessed, to be completely honest. So I'll be sprinkling that for sure.
Yeah, I just looked. It's like minus 235 for a double-double. Plus 320 is kind of wild because both of the props are 9.5. His assists are 9.5. And I mean, if Luka does what Giannis did like last week, where he scores like 7 points but gets a double-double, I don't think that will ever happen in Luka's life. Not scoring 10 points in a game, but if it happens, I might like have to get a tattoo or something if he doesn't get 10, but he gets 10 of everything else, because that would be unreal. All right, Stu, last play. I can't believe I'm seeing this. I don't think I've ever seen this from you. So we're starting out with something new today.
Yeah, and I don't believe you spelled TJ McConnell right.
I did that on purpose, dude. I did that on purpose because I just don't want to.
This is the second time you've sabotaged me on this show. I just wanted to let you guys know, okay? TJ McConnell, Shai Gilly, SGA, both to record a steal, -135 over on BetMGM. It's funny you said this is not something you expect from me. TJ McConnell was the first name on my list last night. I was so ready. I like assists today. I like steals. I like everything. This guy is so productive when he's out there on the court. We have no Halliburton, obviously, out with injury right now, and we're seeing 24 minutes. Then it's slowly building, 26 minutes, 20, and then 32 minutes last game. So we're seeing him actually start to close out these games, which is always nice. And these are both two really young teams, which is also something I really like for steals right here on the season. 19th and 20th in steals allowed so far. So these are two borderline bottom teams in having these steals taken from them. And you see why, right? SGA, the thing we've been capitalizing really all season long, because this is not the first time we bet SGA steal, is in the beginning of the season is kind of a narrative now. Kenrich Williams walked up to him and he's like, dude, you're this lengthy big guard. You should be averaging a steal and a block per game. Like, why is this not happening? And you know what? I guess that actually unlocks something, because that's happening this season. He's averaging over a steal and a block. He has a steal in 18 of his last 20 games coming in right here. And I really like taking advantage of a team that doesn't have their starting point guard, right? We know Halliburton is a generational passer, but now we've got a plethora of younger guys, people like Mathurin, who loves to shoot. We know Mathurin can get those points up, but when he's kind of forced in more of a playmaking role, it definitely can get a little bit uglier. Even a guy like TJ. TJ's the exact opposite. He's not going to shoot. And we know, I mean, he dropped 31 points the other day. That was I'm not going to count on that one to happen ever again. But he's one of those guys, the jump shot really isn't there. You know, he's either going to drive and kick or he's going to finish with a nice little layup around the rim. So I love this spot. It's 2 effort stats. And we actually see the Thunder playing really well right now, too. Before, they weren't actually playing for anything. Now they're actually a legitimate team in contention right now, which is fun for just basketball in general. So I know this is a little bit unorthodox right here, but it's 2 teams that have given up tons of steals on the season so far. Once TJ just gets those 20 minutes, I'm so confident in him to get a steal. He's likely going to see 30 minutes in this game. And as for SGA, we already know he's locked into 33 plus minutes in a competitive game. Honestly, even not in competitive game, he's still getting this mark. So 2 guys that have been extremely consistent. I'm putting them together both to get a steal in this one.
Mike, are you on the SGA train like Pass the Prop is here? We bet. I think SGA finds his way to the Pass the Prop card like every other show.
He's in the perfect situation. He's in a team where he dominates opportunity. He's got, and like Stu just said, he has to start getting involved. He has the length. He has everything he can do. Love this one. And we talked before we even got on here. TJ McConnell, I mean, steal efficiency. I mean, the guy, when he comes in, it's almost like when he gets in the game for 15, 18 minutes, his steal efficiency goes up. You know, like when he plays the whole game, it's like his steal numbers are not as great if he's plays the whole game. But yeah, love this one. It's a great call here. Great call.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, you know, he's only played this 4-game stretch without Halliburton. He's had 2 steals in each one of those games. So if you like the plus money right there, I was thinking about maybe having that as a solo play, but SGA has just been so good. So I know a lot of people, honestly, I don't know why I'm getting this pushback for my guy TJ right here. Having a 6'1", like 120-pound guard in the NBA is fun. This guy had a triple-double on steals last season, or maybe it was a double-double. Might have been a double-double. That was
I know which one you're talking about, though.
I know. Yeah.
He destroyed it in my entire DFS slate for the day. He just destroyed it, and I didn't have him.
Exactly. So let's celebrate a guy like TJ McConnell rather than shame him. Okay, he's a unicorn in the modern NBA. Maybe not in the cool way, but you know, I like TJ McConnell. Let's get some support in here. I know he's watching right now.
Hey, well, if he is, we'll be talking about his teammate here. We got a question from our boy Jay. Thoughts on Miles Turner over 17.5 points? Either one of you guys have a thought? Obviously in the same game with McConnell there.
For me, I mean, so the thing is, if you just from a narrative standpoint, it looks like he's playing for a trade right now. I mean, he's been playing real well recently. He's kind of acknowledged it a little earlier on in the season. And now we have 2 starting point guards that likely are going to combine for less than 10 points. So it's going to be driving kick city. It's going to be a combination of Turner, Mathurin, and Hield knocking down these outside shots. So I really don't have anything against it. We know the Thunder don't have any rim protection whatsoever. It's going to be Mike Muscala as their center. Yeah, for a decent amount of minutes. So I really don't think there's many roadblocks in the way, although I will have to say just 17.5 is a little bit of a scary number for a guy like Miles Turner when he's normally lived in the 13, 14 range for a good amount of his career. But I understand why. We have 2 point guards that aren't going to shoot the ball, and they're going to be passing constantly. So I think the opportunity will be there for Turner 100% tonight.
Yeah, no, I always like backing centers against Oklahoma City. They obviously who would have thought that we would think that Poku was one of their better defenders as a big, and that's actually the case. That he's actually one of their better defenders underneath because Muscala is literally out there to shoot threes. I don't even think Robinson Earl is back yet. I think isn't he still out?
I believe so. And is Kenrich Williams back now? I think he is.
Yeah, he's been playing the last couple games. But it's yeah, I love Turner. The thing is, it's tough. It's just you kind of pointed out, like, I can't remember the time I seen his points this high, and I wanted to back the over. So, it just kind of has like that PTSD line there where you get to like 15 and a half. I'm like, okay. Once it goes over, I'm like, all right, dude, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of in a weird spot here.
Yeah, it's a volatile situation, guys, because if you look at Turner, 3 of his last 5 games, he has not made a 3-pointer, but he loves to chuck them. I mean, this could be a reaction to the 5 of 9 game that he just had recently against the Bucks. I get it. I think he's got to hit some threes to get it there. Oklahoma City's pretty good at defending opposing centers from beyond the arc. So if he's willing to go down and bang a little bit against Muscala, I think he gets there. But if he falls in love with that 3, you're going to have to hit a couple of them. He has an 0 for 5 night from deep. I think this is right there. I agree with you. It's, following that big 30-point game, they get a little iffy sometimes.
Yeah, and the Bucks are like a perfect matchup for him there too, because they ain't going to go out there. Brook Lopez is going to sit 10 feet into the paint and let you do whatever you want out there. So that's like a perfect one for him. I don't believe we have any other question. I'm just checking through the chat here, see if we have anybody else bringing up anything. I think the only other one was the Oklahoma one there. So I believe we got through it. We cruised through today. We cruised through those plays there. So we can do a quick recap. Do we want to think about a long shot there, Stu? Or are we just going to roll Luka triple-double as our long shot today?
Yeah, we'll roll with that. I'll do a little bit of brainstorming while we go through our quick recap. And as always, we know, guys, it's 1 o'clock in the middle of a workday. We know not everyone could tune in here live. So if you do have those questions and you weren't in here live, drop them in the comments. Obviously, both of our Twitter DMs are open. Even I'm sure Mike is willing to answer your questions as well. So we'll all be here. Don't be afraid to drop them now, either live or after the show. But yeah, I think I can come up with a nice Wizards-related long shot tonight for sure.
Shout out Stu for trying to sneak in that Washington Nationals hat in the bottom. I see you. I see you. What you're trying to do here.
I've taken a lot of criticism on this show over the last couple of years from the lack of a consistent background. We're in the beginning phases. I'm going to get some flags. We're working on it. Okay, this is a start. There's a little props.cash helmet right there if I move my shoulders strategically. So I'm not an interior design guy. I'm fine with the white background, but we're building it up. We're working on it. So I got to rep the Nationals.
Hey, we appreciate the effort, though. We appreciate the effort. So I will kick it to you, Stu, for your recap here, and then we'll send it over for Mike's there.
Sounds good. Started out with the late night hammer today. We're going Sabonis over 28.5 points plus assists. Remember, this one is 2 points better on MGM and DraftKings rather than FanDuel right now. And then we're doing a same game parlay. You can do this on MGM, Caesars, or DraftKings. We're going TJ McConnell and SGA to both record a steal minus 135 in this one.
All right, we'll get Mike's in here for his recap.
Sure, guys. Rivalry game here. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State shorthanded on the interior. Oklahoma being very efficient, well-coached, doesn't turn the ball over, and has got a late-game shot maker in Devin Cambridge. I like Oklahoma getting 3, even sprinkle on the money line if you want. Next up, Western Carolina at home. Conference game, getting points here. A team that has played well at home, that is beating quality opponents, and they have a Wofford team that I still think is overrated in the market because they don't make threes and they don't guard inside the arc consistently. That's a tough combination to win on the road in any conference. And finally, Luka Doncic, we've talked about it. Love him on this show here. Coming back, going against Trae Young, motivated. You got that 52 PRA number, which is way high. In that situation, I understand he could go for a 40 burger, but how about the fact that he gets to 10 at plus money here when he's averaged all year long at home over this number the entire year, getting 10 rebounds in his last 10 as well.
Love it. And hey, if I could come up with a long shot, maybe Jake Stevens 30 points. If we could see that, I don't think they're going to offer a Chattanooga point prop, but hey, that would be my long shot of the day. We're going Chattanooga team total over 75.5. Over on FanDuel, it's 76.5 on DraftKings. So make sure you're over on FanDuel for that one. And I'll be on Luka as well. Over 18.5 rebounds plus assists today. DraftKings minus 110. Really love this spot. Plus 320. Was the triple double. I think that is absolutely very live today with both of his props being at 9.5 for plus money. So I think there's definitely a worse bet you could have out there. Mike, we got a college question. Do you have any thoughts on this one? I haven't even looked at this game.
I will tell you this. Duquesne is going to St. Bonaventure, guys. I have been very high on Duquesne.
Duquesne's good.
Keith Dambro, old school coach. They were horrific last year, but normally he battles. St. Bonaventure, very tough place to play, but a lot of new players that have caused volatility here. I am actually leaning with Duquesne on the road at the Bonnies, which I never do, but I think Duquesne is a sleepy team in the A-10. Dayton, who I saw destroy Fordham last week at Arthur Avenue night out in the Bronx, they are up and down a little bit, lost at home to VCU. Duquesne has length. They shoot the three well. It's a scary one, guys, because it's on the road. But, Kurt, I actually am leaning to Duquesne. I think this is going to be a last possession game, so don't look for a comfortable win either way here. St. Bonaventure can be tough, but their length, Duquesne, can stop those threes from the outside, and they have advantage on the inside. I'm actually leaning with the Dukes tonight on the road at St. Bonnie's, but it's not one of my top plays.
Love it. Yeah, I was not expecting to look at that and only see a 1-point spread there either. That's going to be a good game for sure. Love those individuals.
Just to bring it back to earlier, it's one of those teams where it's one team that I've heard of and another team, right? The Bonnies. I know the Bonnies. I watched the tournament. Okay, I know these guys. It's kind of – do you guys feel like that's a real thing? These teams, especially these smaller level teams that have actually made their imprint on like national stage, do you think they're kind of overvalued for a longer time because of that?
Stu, I think – I'm sorry to jump in. I think so because I think people also look at records a lot. I think they look at the records, and that's why the one I'll never forget years ago – is Baylor was number one in the country. They went on the road to West Virginia when they were undefeated number one, and they were a 7-point underdog. I mean, to me, and then West Virginia was up and good night, and that game was over right away. So I do think sometimes you can take advantage of a popular team that people know, as well as when there's a discrepancy in the record. Don't go by the records, folks. You don't know non-conference schedule.
Beautiful. I love that breakdown there. Yeah, I think it is a thing. I think it is for sure. Oh, Travis is bringing up a nice little long shot here. Are we throwing – I think Joker had a triple-double last night. I know a guy in one of my chats. I think Terrence ended up having the Ben Simmons plus Joker triple-double last night. I saw him cash in on that, which is awesome. Luka, Joker, we going both?
That's tough. You know, I don't mind it. He obviously had one last night. Back-to-backs are still something that I have PTSD from betting on NBA over the last couple seasons. So that's obviously a little bit concerning right there. But I mean, I think it's hard to bet against Jokic right here. But before we get on out of here, I do want to give you my long shot. I've been looking. No Wizards props up right now, so I had to pivot a little bit. This is a guy that I bet on pretty much only in long shots. I never actually really bet his regular props. I like Trey Murphy to hit 4 threes at plus 400 tonight. He has a huge difference in home and away splits, 46% at home so far. And this is actually something we talked about on the Friday show in football. And I wanted to bring it up where we had John Legaze on here and we talked about slot receivers versus the San Francisco 49ers. And I mentioned how we target that all the time. And he brought up a very good point is it's not so much that they can't defend that position is that's what they allow. Right. That's what the San Francisco 49ers defense wants you to do. They want you to check it down 7 yards, hit that slot receiver and, hold them to a 3 and out right there. And I think it kind of translates to NBA with the Heat and the Bucks. we always bet these long shots against the Heat and the Bucks because these are great defensive teams that just allow the three as a subsection of the way they play defense, right? They allow those outside shots. Trey Murphy is their corner shooter. They've been top 5 in corner 3-point attempts allowed all season long. And I just think this is one of those opportunities. I never bet Trey Murphy, 1.5 at -185 or whatever it is. I always like to ladder because he's one of those guys. He's either going out there and going 1 for 4 or he's going out there and going, 5 for 7. So I like the efficiency. I like the home road splits. I like that Miami is going to allow those corner threes. And hey, man, I'm a Trey Murphy fan. I wanted Washington to draft this guy. I think he's a good player. I think he has that consistent 3 out there. Not having the best season so far, but I believe in him. So I like the plus 400. I expected like 320 right there.
I know Mike's got to get out of here shortly. I believe he's got to pop out quick. But Mike, we appreciate you popping on here with us. We appreciate you breaking down some slates with us, college and NBA. Can you tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, FTN, guys, Chief Content Officer there. So many great things. Obviously, Stu killing it as well. Great stuff. The lines, the tools, data. We have so much stuff covered for you here. Just continuing to roll. NFL winding down. We got NFL draft coming up, but then hoops is going to roll. Hockey, baseball, everything, folks. And find me on Twitter at Randle1. Anytime. Tell me I'm great. Tell me I'm terrible. Just tell me something.
Hey, and I even see the TikToks. I saw you out there walking. I believe it was New Year's. I'm trying to get in the TikTok world, so I'm doing a little studying right now. And I definitely liked what you're doing over there. And obviously, a big fan of everything you put together over at FTN. So many strong teams, so many tools. I tell people all the time, before I ever worked for FTN, I've been telling people about the FTN prop shop for like 3 years, man. Like, this is like you need this tool, right? I just told you in the beginning of the show, that's one of the main reasons. You get 2 points of value by typing in a name that you were going to do already. So obviously very appreciative to have you on the show today. I love the picks. I love the college basketball. I'm excited to actually turn on my TV and watch some college basketball and actually have something to root for tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it.
Got it.
All right. He knows his stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. Only 887. Holy moly. That is low. I bet you Jokic is plus like 190 or something, dude. Ridiculous.
Yeah, go Luka and Trey Murphy. How about that? How about we get that parlay going, okay?
Yeah, I had Trey Murphy last game, and I needed him to get one more to finish the ladder because they wouldn't offer me any more than 4 threes. And so he hit it for 3 and got me like plus 200. But I needed one more, and CJ just kept chucking, so I didn't get there. But
and I see some more TJ McConnell love in the chat as well. TJ McConnell carrying my fantasy team. Exactly. He's going to go out there. He's going to get dimes. He's going to get steals. This is a TJ McConnell friendly podcast, okay? And I want to make sure that he knows that. Well,
I think it was one. I think there's only one person in there who hyped up TJ McConnell and you. Okay. So we're not going to throw there's a big group of this mob coming at us hyping him because it's only you and Freakier Bull over here sitting on your little island over there cheering that on. So, but yeah, I do like that play, especially with the amount of minutes and stuff. He's been just killing it in DFS as well. So, yeah, I really like today's slate. I really like these college basketball slates. If they would just give me a Jake Stevens 30-point line, bro, I literally would play it. I don't care if it's plus 10,000 because the odds of you getting 30 in a college game is tough. But dude's averaging 25 points a game at home this year, back-to-back 30-point games, 35 and 37 in his last 2 home games. So would love to see another one like that. But yeah, Stu, what do you got for the people before we head out here? We got all of the plays located on the bottom right now on the ticker. Stu, what do you got?
Yeah, man. I mean, today was a great show. So obviously, if you're tuning in after the fact, make sure to check out all the plays analysis. I feel like we know this as people that do this so often. Sometimes it's a good show. You get the good vibes. The plays are great. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know anything about college basketball, but I was I'm like, yeah. Love Oklahoma tonight. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I know there was North Carolina. I knew there was South Carolina. I didn't know there was the West. Let's be completely honest. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know that even existed, but that doesn't matter, man. If we got an expert on here telling me that that's the move tonight, then I'm going to be trusting it. So a lot of good stuff. I'll have some more NBA, obviously huge slate. So plenty more plays to be given out. I'm just excited, man. I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, if Mike didn't mention the actual mascot for him, I would have loved to see you struggle for 5 minutes trying to think of what Western Carolina's mascot is, but he did mention it already. So that takes away a little bit of the fun because that one is an impossible one if you don't know exactly what team it is. The Catamounts. The Catamounts.
I don't know what that even means. So, that's okay.
Yeah, but I like doing the little college basketball sprinkled in on this Wednesday. Obviously, we had a massive NBA slate, so that kind of takes precedence. But yeah, love to see that he was already on Chattanooga and he was already on Luka. So always nice to see matching up spots. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I believe it'll just be us on Friday, right? I think it's us two on Friday for breaking down this NFL slate, which is going to be awesome. So I'm pumped for that to finally get back into NFL. Get a couple days off with some NBA mixed in between, but we're back to the bread and butter, going back to NFL, and I'm pumped to get after it again. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure if you guys haven't already, go follow Mike over on Twitter as well. He's a great guest. We've had back-to-back fantastic guests, and I'm looking forward to having another couple next week too. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Smash the like button on your way out, and hopefully we'll cash all 7 today. We got 7 plays on the docket. Hopefully we can get all of them. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck tonight.